Hello and welcome to this third masterclass on your Monologues project. This one is all about facial expression and eye contact. So I'm going to start first of all by tying my hair back, because when it comes to facial expression, you actually need to see the person's face to actually see what expression they are pulling. So my first bit of advice and top tip for this is to make sure your hair is out of your face. Okay. There's always that one stray bit that won't go away. That'll be fine. Okay, so let's look at the learning objectives for this lesson. Okay, so first of all, you need to understand the importance of facial expression and eye contact in performance. You're going to experiment using different facial expressions and points of focus for your audience, like eye contact, where you're looking. Thirdly, you're going to be looking at how to add facial expression and focus cues to your monologue script. Now, throughout this unit, I have been mentioning that there will be a technical option for those of you that don't want to have your faces on camera. Obviously, I'm hoping most of you will be willing to perform to camera, but if it really makes you feel uncomfortable, that is not what this topic is about. So if you're doing one of the options where you're going to record loads of different clips of things and just narrate over them, I would still like you to go through this masterclass and answer the questions at the end, because actually when you are pulling facial expressions and you're talking at the same time, if you're still doing the faces even if we can't see your face, it can affect your voice, okay? So obviously if you're smiling, it makes you sound happy. If you're frowning, it makes you sound grumpy. So do still try and practice the faces, but there will be a different task for you techie folk at the end of today's lesson, okay? So first things first, what we need to do is a bit of a facial warm-up. So we are going to warm up our faces. So in order to do that, you're going to start by doing a bit of a facial massage. I'm going to take my glasses off for this. So you're going to start that by starting with the forehead. Just rub in little circles, okay, around your forehead. And then down to the sides of your eyes, and this is just waking up your face. Underneath your eye sockets where you've got the bones there, give them a good rub, and give those cheeks a really good rub. So it's like you're having a wash, but without the soap. And then down to the bottom and down to your chin, your face should be starting to feel a bit warm. And then you can do the same system again, but tapping this time. So tapping on your forehead, tap around the sides of your eyes and underneath. You can tap down your nose, underneath there. Okay, and round and down. Okay, and now to do some facial stretches. So the best way to do some stretches is to over-exaggerate your face. So you're going to start by scrunching it up as tight as you can. So scrunch your face and then widen it as much as you can. So wide face, wide eyes, big mouth. Okay, and then scrunch again and widen and scrunch and widen. And now the good thing is for anyone in the room with you, they will find that all very hilarious. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is have a go at the facial expressions game. So you're going to guess the emotion. So I'm going to pull a facial expression for you, and you need to try and guess which emotion it is I'm trying to show you. So in order to help with this, I will bring up the webcam so it's slightly larger. There we go, so you can see my face, you lucky people. So I'm going to do different facial expressions. You just need to guess which emotion I'm trying to show. So this is the first one, okay? Okay, any guesses? I guess manic might come up. I would go with excitement. Now, the key with this game is have a go at doing it yourself. Try and do an excited facial expression, but note what your face does. So, for example, when I went excited then, my face tightened, my mouth went wide and tight, my eyes opened wider, okay? And because I'm of a certain age, I got a few more wrinkles on my forehead, okay? Luckily, you won't have that to worry about. So that would be excitement. The next one, see if you can work this one out. Okay, what kind of face would you describe that as? That is my frustrated face, okay? So again, think about what your face does. So my teeth were gritting, okay, really angry kind of face, and my eyes were kind of pinching together, and I was looking really stern. Oh, frustration. Okay, good. The next one is a bit trickier. It's a bit more subtle, okay? So see if you can work this one out. That was my jealous face, okay? So it's as if I've seen something I'm jealous of in the distance. So it's that kind of look of, oh, I wish I had those trainers. Oh, but I don't want them to see me. Oh, that kind of awkward. Okay, so again, think about when your mouth gets thinner, okay? Think about your eyes, change contact all the time. You're looking one direction, maybe looking away because you don't want the person to see that you're looking at them and you're jealous, okay? So again, think about all of that your face is doing. And for the last couple, let's do, I'm sure this is quite a common face for most of you during lockdown. That one's boredom. Okay, so again, boredom, everything just relaxes on the face. It's all really calm. But you've got your mouth closed and quite set in more, almost a frown. Big sigh, because you're so fed up. Okay, and the final one, based on a lot of the stories you're telling me you're doing, I think a few of you will have this face. Okay, so it's... Okay, so again, eyes looked up, face went tight into a round, ooh, and it is that kind of oops face, like I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so as I said, have a go at pulling those faces yourself, and I'll just bring up the words on the screen again just so you can have a practice. And the best thing to do is make sure you can describe what each face is doing. So excitement, what does your excited face look like? How does it alter where the pressure is in your face and different sensations in your face? Okay. Same with frustration. Do you really squeeze your face up tight? Okay. Do you just look really fierce? Okay. Jealousy, that kind of awkward kind of face you can do. Okay. Boredom, I'm sure you all have your favourite version of boredom. There's a lot of this sometimes in boredom as well. Okay, leaning on the hand, but we're going to do gesture and body language next week. And of course, the classic oops that comes into play. Okay, so hopefully you've had a bit of a practice there with some facial expressions. So we're going to look at how do you add facial expression cues to your script. So again, I'm giving you a short extract of my script for my chocoholic hamster story. It's not the same section as last week. It's the section that follows on from that, because I thought I don't want to keep using the same bit. So this was the next part of mine, and I'll read it for now, trying to minimise what my face does, okay? So as the boys became more alarmed, I bid a farewell to my friends and sprinted down the stairs to find my two sons frantically trying to crawl under the sofa. "We found him in the Easter eggs," my eldest said. The panic in my stomach started to rise. "Did he eat any?" I inquired, knowing chocolate was toxic to small rodents. "He's got loads in his pouch." I knew I had to act quickly to avoid hamstergeddon. Okay, and just for the English boffins amongst you, that is not a real word. I've made it up for this story, hamstergeddon. Okay, so obviously, facial-wise, I've highlighted the words in red that I think I can do certain facial expressions on. Okay, because remember this happened when I was on a Zoom call. So I was chatting to my friends on my mobile. I am going to do a kind of everything's fine face to my friends, because I don't want them to know that something alarming might have happened at my home, because I've just heard my boys shouting, "Mum!" So that gives a facial expression kind of to say, okay, bye, everything's fine. Second the call goes off, everything's not fine. I'm going to sprint down the stairs. And our faces will often do that. We'll often put on a mask in a metaphorical sense to show that we're hiding what we're actually feeling, okay? And I do that a few times in the speech. So the panic in my stomach, I'm going to show panic on my face, like, oh, this isn't good. Okay, starts to rise. But when I'm speaking to my children, I obviously don't want them to get afraid and upset, because if the hamster had eaten quite a lot of the chocolate, he would no longer be with us. It's toxic to hamsters. So I didn't want to upset them, but I needed to know how much he'd had. So on the "did he eat any?" I'm going to be kind of showing almost like a fake smile and kind of a "did he eat any?" Oh, because I'm trying to mask the fact that inside I'm freaking out, but I want my audience to know that, so I don't want to be too convincing in my smiley face, okay? Finally, when I get to the end and I have this hamstergeddon, it's quite dramatic, isn't it? So I will be doing a dramatic face at that point. So I'm going to read it again and try and add the faces, okay? So as the boys became more alarmed, I bid a farewell to my friends and sprinted down the stairs to find my two sons frantically trying to crawl under the sofa. "We found him in the Easter eggs," my eldest said. The panic in my stomach started to rise. "Did he eat any?" I inquired, knowing chocolate was toxic to small rodents. "He got loads in his pouch." I knew I had to act quickly to avoid hamstergeddon. Okay, so you can see the changes in my face there. Now, I've asked you to do a bit of a strange technique now with yours. When you've added your facial expression cues, I want you to do a run through just with the facial expressions, no longer with the voice. Now this is something a practitioner called Antonin Artaud used to get people to do, to practice their non-verbal communication, because he actually felt that the best mime artists, the best non-verbal actors, didn't need the words because they'd be so good in their face and what they were doing. So I'm going to go through my little bit of script again with you now, but I'm only going to do the faces. I'm going to mime it, and hopefully you can follow where I'm up to in the speech just based on what my face and actions are doing, okay? All right, let's give this a try. It's a very odd experiment, I will warn you, but it's really worth it to get your face really working and moving. And there you go. That's my performance of just the faces. I told you it was a bit weird, but it gets you used to it. Okay, the next topic is really important in a performance. Normally, when you're performing a monologue on a stage, you'd be in front of an audience, and it's all about eye contact, where you're looking at different times. Now, this is something I'm not a fan of on a computer because I never know which one of these little dots at the top of the screen to look at, okay? I'm the same on my phone. I put it down to old age. I'm sure you are all experts at which dot is the actual camera, be it the left, right, or middle. I don't even know. But the important thing you need to know about is have points of focus in your room that you can look at. So either perform in front of your family, in front of an audience, so you're actually looking at different people at different points in the story. If that makes you really uncomfortable, use teddy bears, use props, use anything. So at the moment in front of me, I have got there's some flowers on the table, there's a chair over there, there's a door there, so I'm going to use those as my points of contact so that I'm not delivering everything direct to the camera, because what's sometimes a really good effect is if you've got quite a dramatic part of your monologue, you might just want to look at the camera at that point, but the rest of the time you might be delivering your speech to different locations, okay? So it's kind of worth thinking about what direct eye contact says. It's kind of, I will draw you into my story. But when you avoid eye contact, it means you're kind of mentioning something that you might not be as comfortable about, and might be a bit shifty about, okay? And luckily for you with eye contact, I have this lovely glare off the screen going into my glasses as well, which is a lovely effect. Glasses wearer amongst you, you will feel my pain there. So I'm going to go back to my script again with the same point, and I am going to this time use eye contact, so you can see where I've put that I would have different eye contact. So as I'm bidding farewell to my friends, we presume I'm on a Zoom call, so I'm going to use a prop. I'm going to use my phone here to help with that, and I'm going to look at my phone, and that's going to be a point of focus when I'm saying bye to my friends, okay? That's going to give me a different point of eye contact. Then when I sprint down the stairs and find my sons crawling over the sofa, they're obviously on the floor and they were literally crawling. So I'm going to look down to the floor because, oh my God, they're crawling, okay? The next thing I've looked at is like that panic, because obviously as I'm panicking, I might look right at the camera to show, oh, I'm freaking out, okay? And when I'm asking, did they eat any, I asked Leo that, so I'm going to look as if I'm looking at Leo, and I'm going to use that chair over there in the distance to be my Leo that I'm talking to, okay? And the final word I looked at was this hamstergeddon made-up word again, because it's quite dramatic. So again, that might be a moment where I'm avoiding eye contact, avoiding it with you completely, and when we get to hamstergeddon, it's going to be delivered right to you, okay? So I'll do it with the voice again, and then we'll try it without the voice again. So, as the boys became more alarmed, I bid farewell to my friends and sprinted down the stairs to find my two sons frantically trying to crawl under the sofa. We found him in the Easter eggs, my eldest said. The panic in my stomach started to rise. Did he eat any? I inquired, knowing chocolate was toxic to small rodents. He's got loads in his pouch. I knew I had to act quickly in order to avoid hamstergeddon. So again, you get the idea of the eye contact changing. And again, I'd recommend try this without the words. Take the words away so that you're just using your facial expressions and just your eye contact. Okay, so I'll do a quick run through now with mine. As I said, it's an unusual activity. And there we go, my shortened version. Okay, so that just gives you enough time, hopefully, this lesson to answer the multiple choice questions on Firefly. If you're doing this on the YouTube channel or through Instagram, you don't need to worry about that side of things. That's what I'm assessing for the lesson. But what you do need to do is go through your script or your monologue, add cues for facial expressions and eye contact, and then practicing performing it in front of a mirror or record yourself and just practice checking your facial expressions. If you're doing the technical option, instead I want you to add the cues to your script where your video is going to cut to something else so you've got all your cuts in there. Good luck!